Imagine this, it's 1966. You are standing in what's about to become Botswana. You look around and count exactly 12 miles of paved roads in the entire country. 12 miles in a place the size of France. There are only 100 high school graduates. 100 in a country of 500,000 people. 2-year drought, disease everywhere. And the real kicker? Britain, your former colonizer, is literally paying your government salary because you are too broke to function. Oh, and your neighbors? Apartheid South Africa and Rhodesia's white regime, both of them hoping you crash and burn. Today, this same country has 7 billion in reserves. It's the least corrupt nation in Africa, richer in capita than South Africa. How? Now, let me introduce you to Seretse Khama. Born in 1921, heir to the throne, gets sent to Oxford to study law in 1945. Now, while he's there, he meets Ruth Williams, a white British woman working as a clerk. They fall in love, get married in 1948, and all the bells loose. South Africa threatens Britain. Keep that couple out of Botswana land or face consequences. Britain needs South Africa's minerals, so they gave. They exiled Seretse from his own country for 6 years, banned him from home for marrying the wrong person. Now, when he finally gets back in 1956, they had already stripped him from his chief title. So he pivots, goes into politics, founds a party, and when independence comes in 1966, he wins the presidency with 80% of the votes. But here is what nobody tells us. For the first 5 years after independence, Britain pays Botswana's entire government budget. Not part of it, but all of it. So Botswana was technically independent, but actually broke. And everyone is taking bets on how long this lasts. Now, most people said 5 years was the maximum time left for Botswana to collapse. And Seretse knows this. Now, in 1967, geologists find diamonds at Orapa, massive deposits. But there is a problem. Botswana has no expertise to mine them. No machineries, no equipment, nothing, nada. Seretse borrows big from the IMF. If this doesn't work, they are buried in debt before they even start. Then, the Bears shows up. The diamond cartel, they have controlled African diamonds for decades. They want exclusive rights, and here is where Seretse does something that no one expects. He doesn't kick them out. He doesn't hand over everything either. He negotiates a 50-50 partnership. The Botswana, half theirs, half Botswana's. His critics call him a sellout. His neighbors think he's weak. Watch what happens next. In 1971, Orapa opens. The money floods in. And here is the second gamble. Now, you should note that at this time, for other resource-rich countries, this money would have gone to Swiss accounts and presidential palaces. Seretse puts it into schools, hospitals, roads. He keeps taxes low but invests like he's building something permanent. 1976, Botswana creates its own currency, the pula, its own central bank. That's not symbolic, that's sovereignty. Then he negotiates direct access to European markets. No middlemen, no South African gatekeepers. Now, think about what he's risking. If Europe says no, Botswana is isolated. If South Africa retaliates, they can cut every supply route. Fuel, food, everything comes through South Africa. By 1977, it's not just threats anymore. Rhodesian militias are crossing borders. South African forces are running operations inside Botswana. Seretse creates the Botswana Defense Force, not to invade, to survive. He co-founds the SADC, a coalition of South African countries reducing independence on South Africa. basically saying we don't need you. It's similar to AES today, that is Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. Back then, by 1979, Botswana's economy was growing faster than Japan, South Korea, anyone. Now Seretse gets re-elected 3 times legitimately. In 1974, he wins with over 70% of the vote in a fair election. Then in July 1980, he dies pancreatic cancer. He's 59, and everyone wonders, can it survive without him? Now his vice president takes over. No coups, no chaos. The system holds, and the economy keeps growing. In 1982, they opened Jwaneng, the richest diamond mine on earth. Between 1966 and 1980, the average person in Botswana's wealth increased by 10,000%. Not a tipo. By the 1990s, 90% of kids are in school. Infant mortality drops, disease rates plummet. But there was a problem. In 2019, Botswana decriminalized same-sex marriages. One of the first in Africa. Looks perfect, right? Except while the economy boomed in the 90s, HIV/AIDS devastated the population. At its peak, nearly 40% of adults were HIV positive. Life expectancy collapsed. The government responded with aggressive treatment programs, free antiretrovirals. It saved lives, but the damage was deep. Youth unemployment still around 25%. 1 of 4 young people can't find work. The wealth concentrated in cities while rural areas fell behind. And Seretse's party, they have won every single election since 1966. Some called it stability, others called it stagnation. 2024, the economy contracts 3%. Diamond prices drop. When you depend on one resource, you feel every swing. But then something interesting happens. The one critics said gave away too much. 2025, Botswana renegotiates. They get 30% of diamonds now, rising to 40% by 2035. And for the first time, they can sell directly without going through De Beers. Then they cut a zero tariff deal with the US. Diamonds polished in Botswana enter America duty-free. Gaborone is positioning itself to rival Antwerp and Mumbai. And here is something wild most people don't know. Botswana has a sovereign wealth fund worth billions, but politicians can't touch it. By law, it belongs to the central bank, not the government. They designed it so no president could raid it when things got tight. That's called thinking ahead. So what's the real lesson here? Seretse Khama would have grabbed power and never let go. He could have looted the treasury like so many others did. He could have kicked out De Beers and watched the economy collapse in the name of pride. But he didn't. He bet that partnership could work if he negotiated hard. That democracy can survive if you build institutions stronger than people. That wealth meant nothing if you didn't invest it in your future. 59 years, that bet is still paying off. Look at the DRC. Trillions in minerals, still one of the poorest countries on earth. Nigeria, all that oil, half the population in poverty. Angola, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, rich resource countries, but still struggling. Other countries are watching what Botswana is doing now. Namibia is renegotiating uranium deals. Zimbabwe is pushing for lithium processing. A new wave is building. The question is whether the new generation can build what Seretse did. Take what they inherited and make it better. Diversify, create jobs, keep democracy alive. When it's easier to consolidate power. Seretse Khama, he proved something most people didn't want to believe. That African countries could succeed on their own terms, not by copying the West, not by rejecting everything foreign, but by being smart, patient, and ruthlessly practical. He took a country of 12 miles of paved roads and turned it into the least corrupt country in Africa. That's not luck, that's leadership. And the gamble? It paid off. I'm Asongwe Luis. This is the Strategic Lens. I'll see you in my next investigation. Bye.